Welcome to the 36th episode of Certum Group's podcast, Alternative Litigation Strategies, where we discuss the latest trends and hottest topics impacting the litigation industry. I'm your host, Kevin Skrzysowski. I serve as a director here at Certum Group, the only litigation risk management company that offers litigation finance, litigation insurance, consulting services, and operational support through our managed services organization, Certum Legal Solutions. And MSOs are exactly what we're going to be discussing here today. My guest is actually my colleague, Asim Badaruzzaman. He is the CEO of Certum Legal Solutions, and he's also partner and co-chair of the mass tort practice at the law firm Sabadian Company. Asim built a managed services organization inside of a working mass tort practice, and now we're scaling that model to other firms offering infrastructure, technology, and operational support. The emergence of MSOs in the legal industry is a very hot topic and has raised the industry-wide question around where the business of law is headed. So today, we're going to talk about some of the pain points in the traditional law firm model, why MSOs are gaining traction right now, and what this shift could actually mean for the future of mass tort and personal injury litigation. So with that, I'd like to welcome Asim to the program. Asim, good morning. Thank you for joining.
Good morning, Kevin. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Great. Now, you built a managed services organization inside of a working law firm. Was there a problem that you saw personally and professionally that you experienced that made you think that this type of structure needed to exist and be implemented within your current law firm?
Yeah, so look, I mean, my entire career has been in mass tort litigation, right? And I've always been surrounded by an infrastructure, which is an infrastructure that I have over the years, both at my firm before Sabadian, at Sabadian Company, that I've worked on expanding or, building from scratch, many times. So having an infrastructure was always something that I knew that was needed for our mass tort practice. But I think the real need that we saw in the market was a lot of hunger for outside services, managed services, docket management services of a very elevated level, right? There are a lot of service providers in this industry that provide various services, and there are a lot of them out there that do a really good job. But not everyone also provides a service that's soup to nuts, right? From intake all the way to resolution, and other back office support. And that's sort of, as we started building our infrastructure, we realized that this is something that there's a lot of hunger in the market for this. And because of our background as trial lawyers and the way that we had built a tech forward solution from that perspective of trial lawyers, we could really enable other law firms, other firms, other lawyers to use our infrastructure, leverage it to raise and elevate the services that they're providing to their own clients. So that really was the impetus of us going on that journey.
Now, when you went out to other law firms to provide this service, was the attractiveness that it's something that was built for lawyers, by lawyers, and how did you persuade your current clients or customers that this was the best solution for them instead of them just saying, we're going to hire more people? Was it a people over a technology type of discussion?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think that's always a consideration, I think, for a lot of law firms as to whether you want to build the infrastructure yourself, especially for law firms that are mass tort firms, but also single event firms, right, on the plaintiff side specifically. This question, this tension about, do we do this internally? Do we build this? Do we invest in all of this technology that we need? Do we invest in all of this training and hiring staff? Or for either a specific problem or for providing a full suite of solutions, do we go outside and do we find someone else that can help us do this? And I think for us, what really differentiated or provided a differentiating factor for our customers is that we bring that perspective of lawyers, right? We bring that perspective of trial lawyers who know how to do this work, and a lot of experienced legal operators that work at CLS. Who have been doing this for decades, and we approach every single engagement, every single sort of problem-solving exercise with this view that how would we want to litigate this case? How would we want to best position it, both before litigation and after litigation? So I think that's really what I think our customers saw the biggest value in.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. But now, We're hearing so much about MSOs now. Now I know you built your MSO about a year ago, so it wasn't like just this past month. But we're hearing a lot about the impact that they're having and that they could have on mass tort and personal injury firms. I mean, why is there such a buzz in the marketplace right now? Why wasn't it 5 years ago or 10 years ago? Is it just because of like volume of mass tort cases or just complexities in the practice of law? What do you think? Why do you think that was?
So I think there's a few things that are sort of changing the landscape a little bit. I think number one, there has been a lot of technological innovation that has happened in the space over the last 5 years, certainly in the last 10 years. And not every firm is well positioned to take advantage of those advancements. So seeing that there are players in the market, other service providers in the market who have invested in that technology, who have invested in building those workflows and those robust processes, I think that is certainly an attraction for a lot of folks. But I think the other thing that has happened significantly is that because of sophisticated litigation finance firms who are supporting law firms in this space, they are looking at their investments and they're asking for a better operational product from their law firms. A better product that provides better outcomes, more efficient, more scalable outcomes for the law firms as clients. So I think the combination of those things has definitely changed. Probably the biggest factors that have changed over the last 5 to 10 years, and that has really increased this demand for operational excellence, operational expertise, and that's why we're probably seeing the amount of activity that we now see in the market surrounding MSOs.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is definitely that it's like the operational complexity. There's capital pressure. People are trying to do more with less, and they're relying more on technology as opposed to investing in more and more human capital and staff just to drive efficiencies forward.
Yeah, certainly. I think, efficiency is always something that I think, every organization is trying to achieve. And I
Right.
think, I'm a lawyer, so I think I can say this, lawyers are notoriously bad at efficiency gains
Sure.
because, we're so focused on driving value for our clients. We're not always looking at, squeezing out every ounce of efficiency from our own processes. So I think, those types of, pressures are certainly driving a lot of need in the market for finding solutions that can do that so that the lawyers can focus on, what lawyers do best, which is, fighting for their clients and trying cases.
Yeah, it's the separation of the practice of law versus the business of law, and a lot of lawyers are great lawyers, but there aren't a lot of lawyers that are great business people. So I mean, this definitely helps solve for that.
They don't teach you
So
that in law school, right? They don't teach
no,
you how to be a businessman in law school. They teach you how to be a lawyer.
no, they don't. They don't. That's what makes it tough, and that's why these solutions are so helpful. So um, let's back up. So for people who are listening to this program and they might be hearing MSO or managed service organization for the first time, can you give a concise explanation of what is an MSO and what does an MSO do? Or more specifically, what does Certum Legal Solutions do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, an MSO, managed services organization, I mean, that's a very broad sort of concept because it can mean a lot of different things in different spaces in different industries. So, specifically in the legal space and more specifically on the plaintiff side, which is, traditionally where I have lived and they were CLS currently is well positioned, particularly in the mass tort and single event plaintiff side cases. What it really means is providing sort of operational support for managing law firms' dockets, right? And so there are a lot of MSOs that are out there, or there are at least a handful that provide different flavors of services for different things, whether it's pre-litigation or litigation discovery support or settlement support or some, combination of those, or on the intake and lead generation side. And what is unique about CLS is that we have built a holistic solution that can do everything where, our law firm clients can leverage us for everything from intake all the way to settlement. So all intake related work, pre-litigation investigation and qualification. In litigation, we can provide all the discovery support on the plaintiff individual level, and everything that needs to be done on the settlement side, including settlement administration, settlement processing, payment and distribution, lien resolution. We could provide an entire suite of services, both as a one-stop shop, but also as a modular service. So depending on what the needs of our customers are for a given engagement, we can tailor services to whatever is best suited for the problem that they want us to solve. That's sort of what we have currently. I mean, we have a lot of other products and services in the pipeline, legal marketing and lead generation. That's one of the biggest ones that we're currently working on bringing online. But eventually, forward looking, one of our goals is to provide a truly one-stop holistic solution for law firms, which includes what I call the operational backbone, which is IT infrastructure, HR infrastructure, finance, and accounting, which brings it full circle where a law firm can truly just leverage CLS for all of their needs or whatever modular pieces that they want to use that best suit whatever problem they're trying to solve.
So you're talking about a full A to Z soup to nuts solution for like the business of law, so lawyers can focus on the practice of law, not just handling all the dockets and docket admins for their torts or their single event personal injury cases or their whole docket of cases, but things like HR and payroll and healthcare and benefits, like managing everything that the back office would do all in one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a true full suite of services that allows lawyers to then focus on what they do best. Ultimately becoming their strategic partner in that journey, not just on managing their dockets, but also providing them the guidance on all these other operational issues and operational questions that law firms and law firm leaders have to think about and worry about and work through every single day.
Very interesting. So now, what would like the pricing structures look like for an MSO, not just from what Certum Legal Solutions is offering, but basically MSOs in general? I mean, are these flat rate? Are these bundled services? Are they fee for services? What do you think is like the optimal pricing that MSOs can offer to the market?
Yeah, I think MSOs have been trying to figure this out. I mean, there are a lot of providers in the space that have been doing this for a few years, and I think the market is still trying to figure out what is the best way to price the service. And it depends on, I think certainly the type of service that they're offering, whether it is just one piece on the intake side or on the pre-lit side or on the settlement side, or it is something more holistic where you are taking an individual client's claim from inception and carrying it through resolution. I think there are different ways to price those out. Ultimately, what we offer at CLS is a fee-for-service solution, right? And that solution is meant to be bespoke, so it's not a cookie-cutter, one-size-fits-all solution. So it depends on the tort, it depends on the work and the engagement and the level of lift that our law firm customers want us to do on a particular engagement. But ultimately, what we do is we sit down, we do a full scoping of, okay, what is it exactly that you're trying to achieve? Tell us your goals, and then let's figure out solutions. And then we can tell you exactly what that's going to cost. And I think what a lot of our customers find is that there is so much value in having an expert such as CLS handle all of those operational needs versus going out and building that entire infrastructure and then having to manage it. Themselves over, the course of, the entire litigation process. That has sort of worked out pretty well. So yeah, I think the fee landscape is still evolving, but generally I think a lot of folks are focused on providing a fee for service model where you can figure out fees for specific modular services and you sort of take it from there.
No, I think that makes sense. It's basically, how many slices of the pie do you want to invest in, and then how much does each slice cost as a package? So I think that makes rational economic sense. Is there an optimal size of a potential client? When CLS is going out to the market and we're looking at talking to mass tort lawyers or personal injury lawyers, are we looking at how many potential clients that law firm has? Are there particular natures of suit? Are there particular torts? Like, what is there an ideal client, or is it more obtuse in general?
So, in terms of a size of an engagement or size of a deal, right? I mean, I think that is probably an easier question for me to answer because, our services are meant to be modular, but, where we provide probably the most value is at scale, right? So for a 10 case deal or a 50 case deal, we'll certainly be able to do it, but it's probably not going to be as cost effective and as economical for a law firm client of ours as a 1,000 case or a 5,000 case deal would be, right? I mean,
Sure.
that's just, the scalability of that will always be different. But in terms of, who can we offer probably the most amount of value, I think, we can provide value. I think we provide a lot of value to every type of law firm or law firm customer in the space. But I think the ones that we can provide the most value to are the folks that are contemplating those infrastructure decisions and don't have a full-scale infrastructure in-house where they've already built it out and they have to manage. I think for them, it's a lot easier to leverage, what we like to call a law firm in a box, right? Where they can sit at a Starbucks and they can fire up their laptop and run cases from our cloud-based, platforms and services that we offer. I think those folks are probably going to find the most amount of value. And folks in the litigation finance space who are investing in cases through maybe that it's an ABS or some other model and need a partner that can provide not just the operational expertise and the operational infrastructure, but also the view and the strategic guidance of being, litigators, the experience of being litigators and trial lawyers. I think those folks will find a lot of value. But look, I mean, I'll tell you, as a practicing lawyer, when I was at my previous firm, and even at my current firm, and there are always things that you want to look at that you want to maybe outsource and have somebody else do. And one of the problems that I always faced as somebody experienced in this space was I just didn't think that anybody else did good enough work that would pass, what my test is for really good work. And I think we can probably provide a very good solution to a lot of really good law firms, even with existing infrastructure where they need either overflow or other modular services in a pinch, or a particular service that they just don't want to invest in. I think that those are probably our core strengths.
Yeah, I think that's super helpful. I know a lot of law firms, when they're investing in technology, it's so fragmented and it's piecemeal together like a puzzle, and sometimes the parts don't all speak with one another. And so having a fully circuitous solution that takes you from A to Z, offers incredible operational efficiencies. So
technology creep is a real problem that a lot of organizations suffer from, and it's hard to get away from as well.
it is, and if firms can, reduce their technology stack or increase operational efficiencies through technology without having to hire additional headcount and invest in additional human capital, I mean, that's normally always a win-win for the business side of the practice. So, we've launched our MSO. We've heard about some other funders that are interested in dipping their foot in the space, some firms that are doing some MSO counseling. I mean, where do you think we're going to be 1 year from now? And then maybe 5 years from now with the entire MSO model and the holistic impact it's going to have on the legal industry?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think MSOs, both on the big law and the defense firm side, and also on the plaintiffs litigation side, are evolving very rapidly, right? I mean, we look at all the same news in the market about how even big firms, AmLaw 100 and 200, AmLaw 200 firms are going out and exploring these MSO models. So I think that's going to continue to evolve on that side. On the plaintiff side, I think what's really going to happen is MSOs like ours. I mean, I don't think we're certainly unique in the way that we've built our technology and the way that we operate it from our perspective as trial lawyers. But I think there are going to be certain providers and certain organizations in this space that are really going to maximize efficiency out of providing these types of services at scale. And those are the ones that a lot of folks are going to be leveraging, especially with technology evolving so rapidly over the last couple of years. The folks that can, or the organizations that can really leverage that and implement it in a way that's not haphazard, that's measured, that is actually solving problems and not creating more problems, I think are the ones that a lot of people in the space are going to come to rely on. And probably a lot of firms are gonna look to that because it just gives them better scalability and better efficiency.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. That was my last question for you today. So thank you for your time. I think this was an incredibly informative discussion on a hot topic that is top of mind for many people in the legal industry, and that's going to have a real impact on the industry today and going forward. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Thank you for having me.
Now, if anybody would like to get a hold of you to talk about what Certum Legal Solutions offers or just MSOs in general, what would be the best way to contact you?
Yeah, so they can email me at any time at my email address. It's asim.badaruzzaman, my first name, last name, at certumlegalsolutions.com. Or they can also call us. It's 862-343-2000. We're available for, consulting on these issues, and we're happy to chat with whoever would like to learn more about what we do and how we can solve problems.
That's great. Thank you again. And of course, last but not least, I'd like to thank the audience for listening. A copy of this recording and transcript will be available on the Certum Group website. That is www.certumgroup.com. And it will also be available on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, basically anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. So thanks again for listening and have a great day.